What is going on, guys? Thank you so much for tuning into yet another episode of the Sports Muse podcast. I am your host, Kevin Brumley, and I am joined by my co-host, John. John, how you doing?
Doing good. About to talk about the Jets, so maybe not so good after this one.
Jets, Jets. Jets, drop your season prediction in the comments. I'm curious what Jets fans think of this 2020 season. How do you think your team, the Jets, Jets, are going to do? So I want to hear it. Also, if you like the content, click like, subscribe, because you might not like us afterwards because we're not too high on the Jets. But let's get to it. Jets last year were 7-9, which I think's pretty good. I think they probably overexceeded with Darnold starting off the season with mono. I didn't realize that they won that many games. I was thinking they were like 5-11 or something like that last year.
They went on a tear towards the end of the year because they started off 0-4.
Yeah.
And they lost a couple more like real soon after that, and then they went on a tear for a little while.
So when we look at their additions, Josh Andrews, Pierre Desir, I think that's how you say his name, George Fant, Wacko Flacco, Frank Gore, Jordan Jenkins, Alex Lewis, Connor McGovern, Brashad Perryman, Brian Poole, and Greg Van Roten, not sure. I think they got some, guys to help on the offensive line, which is going to obviously help, Le'Veon Bell. It's going to help Darnold, keep him protected. I'm guessing Joe Flacco, we saw when Sam Darnold went out, he's just kind of an insurance policy more than anything else. Got a little bit of DB help. Frank Gore's a guy who I don't know, doesn't seem to age. I'm pretty sure Frank Gore's going to be in his mid to late 60s and still rushing for 600 yards a season. I don't think I understand it. You know what I mean? When we look at their departures, they lost a big one in Trevor Siemian. I don't know how they're going to exist with that one. Ty Montgomery, Robbie Anderson one, which is weird. We'll get to that in a second. Demaryius Thomas, Ryan Khalil, Kelvin Beachum, Brian Copeland, and Darrell Roberts. The Robbie Anderson one was weird. I'm curious if anybody knows anything, if you follow the Jets a little bit more closely than I do. I'm a huge NFL fan, but obviously I don't read a lot of the sports writers of the Jets. I'm just kind of curious why they didn't bring Robbie Anderson back on the contract that the Panthers signed him. Seemed pretty affordable. And I'm not sure, I'm not a huge Robbie Anderson fan, but they also don't have any talent at wide receiver. So I'm just kind of curious why they didn't bring Robbie Anderson back on that contract.
Yeah, I agree with you. And do they think, I guess maybe they're hoping Brashad Perryman and Denzel Mims really fill that void. But, what did he sound like, $30 million, Robbie Anderson?
3 for 30, yeah.
I definitely think that's undervalued almost for him. I think he can be good and going to be on a better team now. I think that it'll look like his contract is a steal for the Panthers.
Oh, I agree with you. And we get to their draft picks. Mekhi Becton, really promising tackle, a little bit raw right now, but could end up being one of the best tackles in the league. Denzel Mims, which a lot of people are extremely high about, and Ashton Davis, who I'm a big fan of from California. I like their draft overall. As far as roster breakdown, what are you thinking?
Yeah, I think it seems like last year they really went after those big free agents with Le'Veon Bell, CJ Mosley signed those huge contracts. And then this year they just kind of got a bunch of smaller contracts, no big name guys other than Joe Flacco, Super Bowl MVP, killing it. So I think other than they just didn't sign any big names. So I don't know if it's this new GM, what's his name, Joe Douglas. This is their way to this is his way. Just kind of keeping it smaller, and maybe that was their problem last year. Is because I had to be their dumbest move last year is they let the GM draft and do free agency, and then they fired him. Why would you let the GM you're gonna fire him pick your players? But yeah, the draft, their class, I think their draft was good. Mekhi Becton looks good. His combine numbers were crazy.
Yeah.
Denzel Mims definitely looks like a stud. But I think that their draft went well, but their additions, I don't know how much it actually adds to their team. Other than, Brashad Perriman I like, so hopefully he can add something.
Yeah, I'm not exactly sure. I mean, you would imagine the offense improves a little bit with some offensive line help. You're hoping Le'Veon Bell maybe gets his legs back, underneath him because he did not look like the Pittsburgh Le'Veon Bell at all. Um, and you're hoping Sam Darnold can, maybe take a step forward. The D was solid last year. They really went downhill when Mosley got hurt. So if they can stay healthy, that defense is pretty good. Not best in the league, but like they're a top 12 defense, maybe. I think that's fair to say.
Yeah, their other
But
linebacker missed the whole year too, I think. Who is that? Williams, I think's his last name.
Avery Williams.
Yeah. He miss all last
Yep.
year. Yeah, so I think with them, I think you're right. Their defense definitely will be better.
But talking about the defense, that brings me to my biggest question mark. What is going on with Jamal Adams? I don't know, man. He wants out. He's publicly stated that he gave a wish list of teams to go to, which I always think is funny. That you're going like, hey, I don't want to be with you guys anymore, but I want you to trade me to this place, and they're gonna be like, oh yeah, buddy, we got your back. So I always think that's kind of funny. But man, what went on? I wonder what made him sour. Is it that he didn't see improvement? Is it a rapport with the front office? Because he's definitely not happy in New York. And, it wouldn't surprise me if this season does go down and Jamal Adams isn't traded before the season. He seems like one of those guys who's, stuck in his way where he would sit out. You know what I mean? He does seem like that kind of guy. So I'm kind of curious what's going on with Jamal Adams. Where does he land? We talked about a little bit, what if the Jags swapped Jamal Adams for Ngakwe? Would both franchises be happy, or do they want draft capital? I'm not sure. What are you thinking about the biggest question mark?
Yeah, I mean, biggest question mark to me. I mean, because I think it was one of their biggest weaknesses last year is offensive line. I think Sam Darnold some games had no time. Like, I mean, the seeing ghost things. I don't blame him. Like, he was getting destroyed back there.
Sure.
So, I mean, I definitely think that's something, and I think they're going to have like 3 new starters potentially this year, which I mean is never good. I mean, I just think that's hard to get a cohesive unit together when you have 3 brand new starters who have never played together before. So, I mean, that to me, that's probably their biggest like question mark right now. Well, that and I mean, is Adam Gase their future? Who knows?
Yeah. Also, New York fans, drop in the comments what you guys think of Adam Gase, because I know what I think of Adam Gase, and I think he's bad. B-A-D, bad, bad, bad. He's not good, I don't think, at, football-related issues. And the question is how do the Jets stack up in the AFC East? What do you think?
I don't think they stack up too well. I mean, I have them finishing 4th.
Yeah.
I just don't think that their team made the improvements that the other teams. I mean, someone like the Dolphins, I think that their improvements were far superior than the Jets were this year. I mean, even though they had a better season last year, I mean, I think they pretty much flipped. Like, I have their records pretty much flipping. I have them going 5-11 this year, finishing 4th in the division. Not looking too good.
So before, I wrote this up before the Patriots got Cam Newton, and what I have written is unless the Patriots purposely try to tank to get Lawrence, the Dolphins are finishing in the basement. And my record prediction is 5-11. So we keep matching on these record predictions.
Yeah, I was between 4-10 or 4-10, 4-12 and 5-11. I was like, come on, I can't do them like that. Like they did finish have 7 wins last year. I'll give them a 5th win.
Yeah, so I have them 5-11 because like they do have some pieces, man. Like I said, that defense is going to keep them in some games because they're going to keep it low scoring, and Sam Darnold has some flashes where he seems promising, and then you have like games where versus the Patriots where he's seeing ghosts. Besides Le'Veon Bell, like I don't mind Rashad Perryman, but there's a reason he's out of Baltimore. There's a reason that Tampa Bay decided not to re-sign him. I know Tampa Bay has some studs there at wide receiver, but I don't know. Like you just feel like for your franchise guy, you'd want to get some more talent around him, which brings me back to that point of why didn't they re-sign Robbie Anderson? Do you have any parting shots for the Jets?
Maybe like you said off there, maybe it's not a hot take, but I think Adam Gase gets fired either during the year or after the year. I mean, yeah, I think they're going to take a step back, and So I think he gets fired. But maybe they look at it as this is their GM's first year. Maybe give him another year. But I don't know. Maybe I'm just too down on Adam Gase as a head coach, but I don't like him, so I definitely think he gets fired.
He's like a cringe-worthy person. Like people didn't like him in Miami. The players didn't like him in Miami.
Mm-hmm.
It seems like New York's turning on him. It seems like the players are kind of not a huge fan of him. He just doesn't seem like a super likable guy.
I feel like the way he treats the media is almost like Belichick and like coaches like that, kind of like how Belichick just shakes off the media. Like, I mean, he doesn't want to have those press conferences, stuff like that. Like someone like, I mean, there's like top tier coach,
Great Popovich.
Popovich, exactly. And like Adam Gase does it. I'm like, your career record's like 30 and 40. Like, let's calm down, buddy.
Yeah. No, I'm with you. Yeah, he hasn't quite earned that. My parting shot is, what the hell are the Jets doing? They've had one winning season in the past decade. What are you doing as a franchise? I mean, someone like Jamal Adams who wants out, why would he want to stay? Why would a big name free agent want to come to New York? What are you guys doing to put in place of a winning culture? You're not getting a coach that brings a culture with him. You're sometimes, trying to splash in free agency and get those big name guys, but like Le'Veon Bell, like I like Le'Veon Bell and I loved him when he was a Steeler. Okay. But the idea is, why are you signing a running back for that much money? We know that running backs are a dime a dozen. You know what I mean? Like, I like Le'Veon Bell and I would sign him for more than most, but why are you giving him so much money? Like, that's just a dumb move. Why are you paying so much for a Mike linebacker? Like, you're overpaying everything. And then sometimes you're going in the reverse direction and you're not signing anybody. And like, there's just so much inconsistency with the New York, front office, GMs are flipping, coaches are always in and out. I just don't understand what they're doing as a franchise.
Yeah, I agree with you. And like, I mean, to pay a running back that much and then, but like their offensive line, I mean, was terrible last year. So, I mean, maybe that's it. Maybe with them, like, hopefully it improves with these new additions. But yeah, I don't know. But I don't see like it going too well. Yeah, I love Le'Veon too, but that's why I don't know. I feel like it's gonna be a long season for the Jets and for Sam Darnold, which you hate to see because I like Sam Darnold as a QB and you want him to succeed, but like if you don't have much talent around you, it's very tough.
Oh, absolutely. With the bad offensive line, I don't know, why don't you work Le'Veon from the slot some? We know he's probably the best route running back in the league. I don't know. It's just weird. A lot of head scratching things.
Yeah, you got to give him the ball in space, and like if that's your option, like you can't just keep running the ball into the back of the offensive line. Like you got to give him a chance to make moves, get the secondary one-on-one, and it just doesn't seem like that was in their game plan last year.
And that's falls directly on Adam Gase. So yeah, guys, if you like the episode, sorry for trashing on the Jets, but I just don't think they're that good. Hopefully you guys bounce back, fire your coach and get a new one. But if you guys like the episode, you can check out our other AFC East breakdowns and click like, subscribe, and show your boys some love. Until next time.